Well, it's like I say about a lot of things, it's simply complicated. Jesus is addressing here the commandments. He just talked about murder. Now he's talking about adultery, but it's to reveal God's standard extending to more than just the physical. Again, when scribes and religious teachers taught faithfulness to this commandment, it wasn't. It was simply it was about not committing the physical act of adultery. Jesus teaches that the lustful intent behind the act is equally sinful. Does that mean I see I'm driving down the road and I see a pretty woman alongside the road and I look at her and, ooh, pretty? Is that sin? Well, no, because it's not a lust. I'm not looking at her and go, ooh, yeah, I wanna, well, hey, baby. I'm not, there is no wanting of that. It's, oh, she's a pretty girl. It's not a lustful thing. It's like it's like when I tell my daughter Nicoma was getting ready for the prom. And she come out and I said, you need to quit that. And she said, what do you mean? I said, you need to quit that. She said, what do you mean? I said, you're becoming a beautiful young woman. It had nothing to do with lustful feelings. It's my daughter. She's such a beautiful child. It has to do with the idea that, here's a good one for you. This is going to piss off a few religious people. You're somewhere in public and there's a woman breastfeeding a child. And you tell her that she should cover that child's head while she's feeding her or him. Why? Well, because doing that is going to lead some men to sin because of lust. Okay, that's not on her at all. The lust would be in his heart. So who we should be talking to would be him. Now, a woman doing something suggestive, something meant to, because breastfeeding a child is not meant to get a man excited. It may. I'm not saying it won't. It may. But that's something that I have to deal with on my own. When I was 15, it probably would have made me excited. By the time I became a grandpa and had seen a few women breastfeed, it was like, yeah, no, it's a woman breastfeeding. It's not a sexual thing at all. But when I was 15, I all I could think was, booby! I grew. I don't care if you're 15 or 40, if all you think is booby. I act that way sometimes. You ask my wife, she'll tell you that I act that way with my wife. And it's not that I only see booby. It's not that all I see is her boobies. It's that she's my wife. I can be a little bit childish in my attraction to that beautiful, beautiful woman, right? Right. It's pure. It is pure to be lustful for my wife as long as it's not interfering with our service of God. Because my wife and I, married under God, meant for each other, us being together is holy, expected. God loves that. So, you heard it say, again, heard it say, because they were concentrating on the physical, and Jesus wanted to bring home the entirety, and that's why you see the urgent, upcoming. But I say anyone who looks at a woman with lust, he's moving the focus, again, from the external to the internal. If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out. You think Jesus really wants us to literally mutilate ourselves? No. But the shock value helps us to see exactly how crucial it is to remove stumbling blocks of sin. The right eye, the right arm. There's also a secondary kind of thing here is that sin isn't really a eye problem or a heart problem. It's an eye problem or an arm problem. It's a heart problem. And if you remove your eye, you're still going to have lust in your heart or in your mind. And you cannot cut out your own heart, especially the spiritual, emotional heart you're talking about. Oh, man. Back in a minute. Yeah, oh, and I got to get rid of that. I had that. song running earlier. Where's it at? I gotta get rid of that. It's over my face. Although